100 medieval facts to help you drift off to sleep. Medieval facts for sleep. The Middle Ages typically refer to the period from the 5th to the 15th century. It began with the fall of the Western Roman Empire and ended with the start of the Renaissance. Life expectancy was around 30 to 35 years, but if you survived childhood, you might live much longer. Castles weren't built until around the 9th century. Early castles were often made of wood and earth. Later, they were built with stone, making them stronger. Feudalism was the dominant social system. It was based on land ownership and loyalty. Kings were at the top of the feudal pyramid, followed by nobles or lords, then knights, who were warriors, and finally, peasants or serfs. Most people were farmers. Serfs were tied to the land they worked. They couldn't leave without the lord's permission. Chivalry was a code of conduct for knights. It emphasized bravery, honor, and loyalty. Tournaments were common and often dangerous. They featured jousting and melees. Monasteries were centers of learning. Monks copied books by hand. These books were often illuminated with intricate designs. Cathedrals took centuries to build. They were magnificent examples of Gothic architecture. Stained glass windows told Bible stories. The Black Death was a devastating plague. It occurred in the mid-14th century and killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people. The plague was spread by fleas on rats. Its impact led to significant social changes. Guilds were associations of craftsmen. They set standards for quality and prices, and provided training for apprentices. Trade routes expanded during the Middle Ages. The Silk Road connected East and West. Vikings were explorers, traders, and warriors. They originated from Scandinavia and raided and settled across Europe. Pillories and stocks were used for public punishment. Hygiene was not what it is today. People rarely bathed and lived among their animals. Herbs were widely used for medicine, and superstition played a big role in beliefs. Witchcraft accusations became more common later. The Crusades were a series of religious wars. They aimed to reclaim the Holy Land from Muslim rule. First Crusade began in 1096. Jerusalem was captured in 1099. Saladin was a famous Muslim leader who recaptured Jerusalem in 1187. Children's crusades were largely unsuccessful. Knights Templar were a powerful military order. They protected pilgrims to the Holy Land and accumulated great wealth. Their order was eventually suppressed. The Magna Carta was signed in 1215. It limited the power of the English king and laid the groundwork for constitutional law. Trial by ordeal was a common legal practice. It involved subjecting the accused to a painful test. Like holding a hot iron, illiteracy was widespread. Most people couldn't read or write, except for the clergy and some nobles. Latin was the language of the church and scholars. Vernacular languages began to develop, like Old English and Old French. Gregorian chants were a form of religious music. Troubadours sang songs about courtly love. Jesters entertained royalty. Feasts were elaborate and often messy. People ate with their hands. Ale and wine were common beverages. Water was often unsafe to drink. Hunting was a popular pastime for nobles. Falconry was also highly valued. Saffron was a very expensive spice, used for both food and medicine. Windmills and watermills were important technologies. They powered grinding grain and other tasks. Slavery existed in various forms. Though less common in Western Europe, towns grew in importance, attracting people from rural areas and offering more freedom. Universities emerged in the 12th and 13th centuries. First was in Bologna, Italy. Subjects included theology, law, and medicine. Gargoyles on cathedrals served as water spouts and were believed to ward off evil spirits. Surnames became more common, often derived from occupations or places. Heraldry developed as a system of family symbols. Armies were composed of knights and foot soldiers. The longbow became a powerful weapon. The Middle Ages eventually gave way to new eras of discovery and change.